try to take a photo of your makeup, it just looks terrible or just like non-existent, let me show you. I've cracked the code onto how to make your makeup actually look visible on camera. Hey everybody, it's Christina. Welcome to my makeup tutorial. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Make sure you stay connected on my other socials and let's get into it. As always, skin prep is always important, but I've already done mine. But if you guys want to see an in-depth skincare routine, just let me know. The base jewel that I would never stop talking about is Miss Huda Easy Blur line. You could literally see how I'm running out of it, and I've only had it for like not even that long. Especially if you have dry skin or even acne prone skin like me, this is so amazing because it does not make your makeup look cakey, and it has actually really good coverage to the point it actually covered a lot of my dark spots. My boyfriend at the time literally asked how I got my skin cleared so fast. I said I was wearing a full face of makeup. That's how good it is. It's literally boy proof as well. For the primer, I'm just going to rub it all over my face, and as somebody with acne prone skin, this did not make me break out at all, which I am really glad about. The best part, this is actually silicone free, so it does not clog your pores unlike a lot of other primers out there in the market. Before I do start in with the foundation, I am going to add a little bit of pot concealer from NARS. Just as somebody with more dark spots than others, you could completely skip this step, but if you do have dark spots or even acne, I would suggest you doing this. A makeup tip that I actually learned from a makeup artist is when you want to cover darker areas, use a darker concealer. Once I've concealed all my dark spots or just places I want to have a little more coverage, I'm just gonna let it dry out for like maybe 2 minutes. While that is drying out, we're also going to moisturize our lips because that is super important. And I'm just using Tatcha's lip mask. It's so gorgeous and I love how it feels on my lips. And then we are adding just a tiny amount to spread this out. I'm just going to lightly pat it out with Huda's foundation brush. Usually for my foundations, I like avoid putting it around my T-zone area since I do have a lot more dry skin and it usually gets more cakier in that area, so I'm just going to try avoiding those areas. Can we just take a moment for this coverage though? Please ignore what's going on in my face right now. This is just the first step. Now with any beauty blender, I like using this kind of blendy brush thing, and then I'm just going to pat this out, and with any remaining excess I do put it around my T-zone area, so not exactly a lot of foundation compared to the other areas, but just a good enough so it does not look separated. I know people say to do your eyebrows first, but for me, I personally like doing eyebrows as one of my last steps. I'm not sure why, but I feel like I always get my foundation on my brows and I just end up cleaning it off after. So for me personally, I just like doing it afterwards. And as you guys could see, I still avoided blending it fully on my under eyes just so there is less creasing when I'm doing my makeup. Now for bronzing or contour, however you like, I'm a bronze girly. Recently I've been doing bronzer before concealer, and the main reason is because I feel like I kind of over bronze my face and I still want a more highlighted look. Starting off, we're going to use a cream bronzer. The biggest tip to actually making your makeup look visible on camera is using cream and powder. We're starting off with NARS bronzer, and the way that I like applying my bronzer is kind of here, so I want more of a snatched look. And then we're just gonna apply a little at the bottom, and I like slowly building up because I do kind of always do a little bit too much with my bronzer. As you guys saw, I put bronzer up here, a little bit down here, and then just a little on my jawline. Every face shape is different, but as somebody with an Asian, more rounder face, this is the way that I prefer doing it. This is the bronze look, and the bronzer is already carrying the makeup. Now for the powder, grab any of your favorite bronzer powder, Mine is currently House Lab Bronzer. Look at this beautiful shade. We're just going to apply it over where I put the cream just to set it a little bit better. Once I am done with the bronzer, I'm gonna grab my favorite concealer of all time, the Kofi concealer. This concealer is so underrated, especially if you have dry skin like me. This never creases for me and it's so hydrating. I've never creased under my eyes. I'm literally running out as well. Like, I have basically nothing left, so I'm trying to savor this. For me, the way that I use my concealer is, this is how I do it. I apply just a bit on my nose bridge, my forehead, my chin, and lastly down here. Completely optional, you can let it dry out a little bit more, but for me, I personally don't really see a need for me to actually let it dry out compared to the first time I used the concealer for my dark spots. Once again, we're going to pat it with any type of beauty blender. Just take a close look of why I love. Not only does it have amazing coverage, but it is absolutely flawless. Doing the other eye. The placement of concealer and just like everything in general makes such a big difference on how your makeup is. Me personally, I like having the snatched look, especially since my face is like rounded. This is how things are looking once it has been blended out. I absolutely am obsessed with the base already. Now when it comes to the blush, I feel like that's like the #1 main concern of it not being shown on camera, and the tip is using a darker shade blush. Some of my favorite darker shade blushes is this purple one from Patrick Ta, or even this Mere cream one. And once again, to make it show even more, use a cream and then a powder on top for your blush. I'm going to demonstrate. I know a lot of people are scared of darker shaded blush, but trust me, they are absolutely gorgeous. I am obsessed with it and I get so many compliments on how they look. I don't really like applying it this area a lot because it does make my face a lot more rounded. I'm just going to blend this out. And I know I do go a little bit overboard with my blush, but I always feel like by the end of my makeup, after setting with everything, it just goes away. So it looking crazy right now is going to look out fine in the end. And a pro tip that I actually learned from another makeup artist was with the extra blush that you have on your brush, you put it a little bit on your chin and just a little on the top of your forehead. I don't know what it does, but because the celebrity makeup artist said to do that, I'm doing it, and maybe it just makes everything look better, and I'm just not really aware. We're going to grab the powdered blush and then set this in place. I know my blush is a little crazy right now, but please bear with me for a little bit more. Before I am done with this area, another tip that I learned is what celebrity makeup artists do on the red carpets to give you that glow is adding highlight onto the places you put on your blush. This way your face just looks glowing, so it's not just a fully matte look. I know not a lot of people like the fully matte look, so giving your face this glowiness definitely helps. With the extra foundation or concealer that I have on this brush, I'm just going to gently dab it out under my eyes and just below. For me personally, I cannot go with a full face of makeup or just any makeup in general without doing my nose. As you guys could see, I do not have a nose bridge. Sure, my nose looks nice from the side, but from the front it just looks like a little pink. But it's okay, we're gonna fix that with contour. The way that I like contouring my nose is using eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna grab the palette from Makeup by Mario. And with my nose brush, I just like applying it very simply. I know there are probably people saying there are better ways to contour your nose, but this is the way that I'm used to, and I just got used to it, so I'm just going to do it. and then just a little bit on the tip of my nose. And then I just like grabbing another beauty blender and then pat this out. Just a little bit onto my eyebrows so it looks connected. Now it actually looks like I have a nose. And with just like any extra eyeshadow, basically, I do like making a little more onto the tip of my nose to kind of give it more of that snatched look. Now for that eye makeup, you could definitely do whatever you would like, but generally I do like adding a base color onto my entire eyelid. And the most important part is applying it on the outer and then blend it in, so it's more of an ombre look and not just messy. Half the time for my eye makeup, like I literally have no idea what I'm doing, but the placement where you first place your brush is where it's going to be the most pigmented. So that's something I like keeping in mind. But we're going to grab Huda Beauty's Rose Quartz palette using shade Self Love. If you guys know me, I'm always applying some sort of lightness or even glitter onto my inner corners, no matter what eye makeup look it is. It's just a me thing. I've been doing this since day one. It's been the same. And I decided to add a little bit of aura and just place it at the outer corner. Another thing that I am always doing is adding gold glitter onto my inner corners. I have been doing this ever since I've ever done makeup and I have not stopped. We're just going to add a little bit onto my nose for highlighter, and then just at the very top where my brows are. Moving on to the brows, I'm just going to get this Benefit kit that I got recently. I have not tried this. This is what it looks like. I actually kind of like it. Other brow. Even though I already basically do have brows on camera, everything just looks a lot less. So emphasizing is really important to me when it comes to taking photos. We're gonna do a little bit of liquid eyeliner. Usually I do eyeliner with eyeshadow, but for camera wise, I find that using a liquid one is a lot more visible. Let's hope that this turns out fine. I usually don't add a lot of eyeliner, but this is like the amount of eyeliner I usually do, so it's not too much. Hopefully we can make these eyeliners twins and not sisters. Sometimes I just like adding a little bit of eyebrow pencil onto my bottom eye just to make it look better and basically enhancing my natural features a little more. Before we start my lashes and lips, we're going to set my face using my favorite setting spray, and make sure you drench your face in it. And then I am going to bake a little bit using Huda Beauty's Ube setting powder that they just came out with. I actually really do love this powder, but I feel like it looks a lot better just under the eyes. And I don't know if you guys know, but they have like this little lid here, so it makes it a little harder for you to actually get the powder out, even after you shake the powder. And then I also like grabbing their old one. This is the Cherry Blossom. And then this is how I like to apply it. Just a little on my forehead. And while that is just sitting there, we could start on the lashes. Usually for the lashes, I do clusters and basically put them under my eyes, because I don't know why whenever I try to put them on top of my eyelashes, it just does not stay on my eyelashes, so I just put it at the bottom. It's a lot easier and it looks a lot more natural, which I like. This is basically the lash that I use, and I just cut it into pieces. I got this off Amazon. I basically just cut half of it and only used half. This is one of the half. Grabbing our super glue. And then once the glue is on top of my lashes, I'm just going to let it dry for like maybe less than a minute. Apply it. It's not on fully, but I let it dry a little bit on my lashes. I gently tap it in. Now it's time for the other eye. Now before I actually wipe these off, I get an actual pressed powder. I'm grabbing Charlotte Tilbury's pressed powder. I get my brush and then I wipe it off. For our lips, we're going to line our lips with Hourglass. And my number one tip is to actually making your lip combo stay on is using a lipstick before your lip gloss. This is the one that I'm using. I literally broke it, so I have to like barely use it, otherwise it's going to fall off. I just apply it onto my lip. I literally love that this is actually really creamy. Lastly, for the best gloss ever, no gloss has able to top this gloss off. I don't care what anybody says. This is the gloss that I am in love with. This will always be my number one. This is the final makeup look. What do you guys think? This is what I'm talking about, to actually make your makeup look visible on camera. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Please like, subscribe, and follow my other socials. I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.